And welcome to the Hodgepodge. Sports, life, and everything in between. May is here, May 9th. It's a lot going on. Hodge, Misty, and Josh right here on 106.9 The Country Giant. Brought to you by Lytle Land and Cattle. We are in the Coast Life studio. Josh, Misty, May is here. School's coming to an end. A lot going on. How things going?
It's going well.
This week. Some are wrapping it up this week, but yeah.
That's insane. I can't believe it's already this time of year. But
Like have seventh graders. I know like there's this weird junior highness, but like seventh graders, to me like sixth to seventh grade almost like changes like everything because now you are playing for Gym Ed or Wiley. Your kid's playing for the school, and it's no longer what's your team name going to be. It's Lady Indians or Lady Bulldogs. To me, and it's kind of weird. Haven't been around Collins as long, but being around when Molly was like the Lone Ranger only kid, and now still like not the Lone Ranger kid amongst a billion of them now. But it's just kind of wild on seeing them grow up. And Collins is going to be 2 bits, 4 bits, 6 bits, $1, and all
No,
that.
it is. It's I'm looking forward to it a lot. It'll be interesting. As you mentioned, with the sports stuff, Ned League basketball and the stuff in AYSA, and I've seen these girls play on different teams, and so it'll be interesting to see how putting them all on one team, and the other side of that coin is there's more of them that are going to try to play than there's room to play, so like
Eventually guaranteed on the.
That's what we've talked about a lot with Molly. It's like next year when you're high basketball, you're not guaranteed entire time, so you've got to get out there and work.
yeah, it has been interesting. Even since we've been friends, I guess I've been doing years. And just being friends, like one of those first, moments that we had a cookout or whatever, and to watch them, I feel like, junior high is that awkward stage, like braces, like their bodies look weird, like they're trying to like grow up. And now I'm like, I don't like this. Like they're getting too cute too soon, and it's weird. So yeah, it is very weird. Something does feel different. It's almost like when you're a freshman. Freshman of junior high. It's weird. I don't like it.
I think it's more. I would be worried about the attitude that may be coming.
I'm already way not.
So there's a lot going on in sports. Football, Dallas Cowboys made a move, and I'm going to get Misty and Josh's take. Has it been a good season? Last year was the phrase all in. This year was the phrase nothing's really been said. And deep down, when nothing is said by Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys, but they have made a move. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. But let's dive into our Lawrence Hall headline report. Lawrence Hall Abilene online.com is where you can go, click, start shopping, find that new car or truck or used SUV that you need. And the folks at Lawrence Hall will be able to provide you that amazing service. I really, there's so much going on right now. I didn't know where to start. Like if you were to say, okay, take away the rundown, where would you start? And I've got some notes different than on yours. That's what I wrote down. Where would you start the headline report? I'm going to put you on the spot. Misty's bag version of Hodge's version of Misty's bag. Where would you start headline right now? That's not part of a segment. What would you start with?
I mean, for me, obviously, being the football fan that I am, I would start with George Pickens.
George Pickens is on the rundown.
So
Doesn't
it's
count.
our, yeah, I mean, I
Doesn't
don't,
count.
I
Where
think
would
you
you
nailed
start?
it.
Well, no, I mean, you can't say if it's on the rundown, you can't use it.
Okay, so that is one. We won't get into much of that.
Thank you, Josh.
I mean, because you can't just hijack the entire, like, well, if I thought of it, you're not allowed to think of it.
But I mean, there's so many things that we normally plug into the headline report, which that is a headline. Pop retiring is a headline. We're going to talk about that. The Rangers are not very good right now. We're going to talk about that.
Well, the Rangers made a lot of shakeup, but as far as that goes, you know, sending people to the minors, cutting people, firing the pitching coach, I mean, that would be on my discussion list.
Well, and you're in luck. It's going to be part of the MLB report. And at the bottom of the hour, our Big Country Electric My Town segment, the Hamlin Pied Pipers baseball teams having a really good season. The whole athletic department of Hamlin, Coach Lynn Turner will be at the bottom of the hour. But you're exactly right. But you take that away. We had a Kentucky Derby last week. We talked about how even though sports seems like there's not a lot going on, there really is. Sovereignty Wins was not a big favorite. Journalism was the favorite. Bobby Baffert being back at Churchill Downs for the first time since being suspended. Sovereignty wins, and then Sovereignty decides he's not, or I don't know if the horse decided this.
The horse did.
Is not going to run the Preakness. So the Derby winner, it was fun. We had a little Derby party we went to with a nonprofit in town. That was really cool, a lot of fun. Tracy had a big hat and all that.
Cute pictures, I saw that.
So
I know something not on this rundown, Wiley High School Baseball. There you go. That's exciting in my world, being a Wiley Bulldog.
Yes.
So that's exciting.
Yeah, Coach Grant Martin and the Bulldogs, they'll be playing today. Andrews heading that way. A lot of other is the Pompton Twins dominate at the state track meet, and then compete in state golf, aren't able to finish because of the weather, and then now today they're playing in regional tennis. If they make it to state tennis is on the same day as graduation next week. So Holly's graduating a week earlier than a lot of the other schools, and one of the Potomatons is salutatorian. Anyway,
so much there.
Lot going on there. So we got the secretariat. Did you see that every horse had a relation with some type of connection back to the secretariat of every horse?
Yes,
in the Derby?
it doesn't surprise me. I mean, obviously,
Yeah,
bloodlines are kind of important.
yeah, and you can keep those bloodlines going today. Yeah. So that takes place. Then you got the Stars. You got Miko Ratan. Miko. We're just going to call him Miko. He's had 2 hat tricks. The Stars now up 1-0 against Winnipeg. They're playing tonight. Again, hockey. It's one of those deals. I've paid attention for the Stars. They're winning. They're up 1-0. And then you got.
I see the commercials during the Rangers games and upcoming Stars games, and I'm like, there's hockey on TV.
Which deep down,
that's as much as I know about it.
Right.
So.
Well, and to me, Victory Plus is working on their sales team because they need more spots. Because we ran all our commercials. Now let's throw up that screensaver.
The screensaver, just the upcoming Stars game. That's it.
Yeah, that's all we got. And so that's taking place. Then you've got the NBA playoffs that are happening, and the NBA playoffs have been so wild. There's been multiple games where the team that is dominating is, they're winning, everything's great, and all of a sudden the comebacks start taking place. Indiana's done it against Cleveland, and the Knicks have done it back-to-back games, 2 20-point leads. They have overcome and have beat the Celtics and are up 2-0. Celtics is defending NBA champions.
State champs
of Massachusetts, and all the other 49.
Yeah.
And then you go to the Golden State Warriors. Their Steph Curry is out with a calf injury, or the hamstring, could be out a long time, over a week, at least a week. They lose last night. They're tied now with the T-Wolves 1-1. And of course, OKC and Denver, they're battling. They're 1-1. There really is so much going on in sports that it looks like CIAO. What is that?
Is that like CIO?
I don't know. Dr. Lynn Ahan just said, type that in our Facebook page, and I don't know what that means. Hi, Doc. I don't know what CIO.
It's like, isn't it like what's up or something?
I don't know. He's going to respond. He's going to let
he will.
Yes,
he will. But I think it's CIO, maybe? I don't know.
That is a casino.
Iowa casino?
Yeah, I think that's what he's saying. Okay. I don't know. But it has been a gamble all week long with things going on.
Great job.
And one of the things that we cannot not talk about was there's a lot of camps.
Yeah, I think I'm following now.
Is all these sports things going on. I know you guys are busy, and we'll talk about yours in a minute while you're busy. But like, have you caught any of this stuff? I mean, I know you're watching the Rangers games, but it's almost impossible to catch all of it.
Oh, no, I have not. I mean, that's really, as we've talked about before, the hockey thing, I have no idea about. NBA basketball, I go back and forth on if I watch it at all. I will say that there have been some games on at my house. I have not sat and watched, but my boys.
I can see your boys being into it.
And so, but then I say, turn the Rangers back on, and that's the end of the basketball.
But I think the other struggle for me, and maybe your boys are the same, and it's not good for TV. It's like anything else. Whether you go to a Ranger game or whatever, and you're going to watch the Rangers play the Dodgers, and Ohtani doesn't sit. With Steph Curry being out, turns that off.
Oh, yeah.
But we got about 2 minutes left on our Lawrence Hall of Abilene. Again, LawrenceHallAbileneOnline.com. Go there today. Check things out. Misty, you had a big week. You had your big Abilene Gives on Tuesday. Successful.
Yeah, my Super Bowl. Definitely my Super Bowl for my job. I mean, obviously CFA does a ton of stuff, but yeah, Super Bowl.
But I would say it's CFA Super Bowl too.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's a huge event. And then we have our annual luncheon that's in November. That's also a huge event. But yeah, I mean, for our nonprofits, the Super Bowl is Abilene Gives, and, $2.3 million in 12 hours. Just insane. Like it's like how, but it was amazing. We had it at ACU. We had this huge pep rally. We had high schools. We had drum lines. We had cheer. We had pom. ACU mascot. Willie the Wildcat was there. Fritter, their dog through the police department was there. Just so much pep in the pep rally. It was amazing. I think some people needed coffee before they rolled up because it was a lot if you're not a morning person, as those drum lines were getting us kicked off and all the cheerleaders. But just so grateful to the because they just really step up and they really showed up this year. The market is crazy right now. There's a lot of uncertainty. I wasn't quite sure, but I was like, are we going to even go over 2 million? You always want to do what you can, but I was a little, anxious about that. And I mean, it just at 8 p.m. whenever that ticker rolled, my heart was just so full. And our team, it's so much work. Just shout out to our CFA team. It is literally plug and play all day long. Like I didn't see some of my coworkers literally all day long because they were just set in front of their computer, just data entry, those prizes, getting those grants going. And so just so excited for Abilene, and just shout out to all the nonprofits that participated and ran a great campaign.
Yeah, it was good stuff. A lot of good stuff. A lot of tons of money raised to help nonprofits all across not only Abilene but the big country. But again, a great job. And of course, Katie was on last week with Misty to talk about that, and it paid off. And we thank you, those that listened and those that donated. Great
Obviously,
job.
it was this show that put them over.
Oh, no doubt. We were the two.
100%.
We were the two that brought the third.
Yeah.
But anyway, congratulations to Abilene Gives and all those that participated. When we come back, congratulations on, I really don't know what you congratulate the Rangers on, but they're good to come home. We'll be back right after this.
Your drink can is a little bit obscene.
Your what?
This? Oh, it's like too much.
No.
It's like
no,
too
the
what?
juicy.
What's it called?
I was like, what's wrong with my Alani?
What's it called?
Juicy peach. Oh, and I do see the.
Yeah,
Okay.
it looks a little. I glanced
It looks
over there and I was like,
I was wondering. I saw you looking, and I was like, what
Well, I
is
looked
over
over there and
here?
I was just like, what does all that say?
I
And
mean,
then I was like,
the peach is for the old bumbo.
yeah,
It is.
that
Juicy.
one is very rounded.
It is definitely catching some eyes. Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah. Like, why did they have to put juicy?
I know.
It could just be a Lonnie peach.
And why did that peach have to be so defined?
That is hilarious.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Now I'm looking. I mean, yeah, it's juicy peach. But they have to sexualize everything
I know.
apparently. But I did not buy this because the juicy peach talked to me.
The peach didn't catch your eye.
And why does this say peel? You can't peel anything. I
That's
just
what I
know.
was, that's why.
Maybe they thought, maybe it's supposed to be the orange version.
And
Yeah, it's not like a scratch and sniff or anything, but like this peel doesn't come up.
I glanced over there, and my first thought was like, that peach was more like a butt than anything that I've ever seen. And then I was like, it says juicy above it. And then I was like reading all the rest of the can.
I'm like crying. It
Well,
does.
I mean, deep down, Beagle Head, it just looks like a peach.
I mean, but you're right. Like, why does it have to say juicy? If y'all are watching, this is what we're talking about. The juicy peach. It's definitely not any implication. It's not giving me a juicy peach. I'll tell you that. So it's not helping me.
But it's,
I mean, it's just really tasty.
Gotta do more, I don't know.
You gotta do more squats. Yeah.
Lunges?
Yeah. I mean,
The
the older I
HBA
get, gravity.
every year, the HBA has a washer tournament. Of course, it's not kids, it's the board.
Yeah.
And I went to it last night. I realized how out of shape I am.
Washers got you? That's good.
Well, no, stay with me. Stay with me.
I thought this
Easy peach. But when you had to go bend over to pick up the washers, that's the most crunches I've remotely done in a long time.
I found a little magnet thing for picking up shotgun shells. You can take that next time.
Yes. Oh my gosh,
100%.
please let him borrow it.
I'm not above that at all.
I mean, you're not like 80. Come on, Hodge.
It doesn't matter how old you are, out of shape is out of shape.
I mean, I can
there's
still
fifth
bend
graders
over
that are
pretty
out of shape.
good.
Yeah, but you guys probably, I mean, girls have more flexibility than guys, right?
As Josh is like, oh.
I was thinking, not very flexible.
Hey, you're hurting, you just sat down.
No, I have some sort of,
Hitch, you get along?
huh?
You have a hitch or what?
Yeah, like I get some sort of like, it's from my lower back, but it sends like this tightness that goes like through my left butt cheek and all the way into my calf. And I have to like stretch, but it doesn't really stretch. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, Kayo, whatever. It means hi.
Hi.
Sorry, I had to like Google it.
No, I
because
appreciate it. I'm shocked Lynn didn't
I
tell us.
thought that that's what it meant.
How do you say it?
I think it's Kayo, like Kayo.
In what language?
Let's see. Hi. Here we go. Ciao. Oh, that says like ciao. Italian?
Is it chow?
Cow?
Chow?
Chow, it's chow.
Is
Man,
it
we're stupid.
CHO? It's like CHOW.
Chow.
Please write it where I can read it.
Wow.
I need hooked on phonics.
My mom just lets you know if you get a good peach, the fruit, they are.
They are juicy.
I couldn't even understand what you were talking about.
They are
Yeah,
juicy.
easy there. Don't act like you're like a fluent Italian.
Please give us your best Italian.
Give us your best chow.
Yeah, give us your best
We're stupid.
accent.
Welcome back to Rosetta Stone.
Yeah. Can you do any accents
I can do no accent.
other than hick?
That's it.
I can do cornbread pretty good.
You can do what?
Cornbread. It's every Friday on the show. That's what I sound like.
How about you say corporate? I was like, I didn't know that was a language.
Oh, there it is. It is a language.
All right, here's the thing.
All right, we're back.
We're back. I'll tell you the story.
Welcome back to the Hodge Factory. We are working on some Rosetta Stone, learning chow.
Or Kyle Chow. I don't know.
No,
I don't think it's a Asian language.
no.
I did go a little Asian there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm no linguist. That's
No,
for
but
sure.
anyway, so hello to you, the Hodge Track Sports Life, and literally everything in between, especially right now this morning. I'm not real sure what May's doing to us. I walked down to a lit tunnel. They walked down to a dark tunnel. Still
It was
confused.
lit. It wasn't when I was there.
We bring the darkness.
Yeah. when I get in the room, it gets lit. But anyway, it's time for our first.
As long as you
speaker
throw that hand motion, you're right.
Yeah.
He said, but he can't bend over, but we can pop
Yeah, I can't
this.
pick up a washer, but I
Too
can.
out of shape to play washers. We might need to get in the gym.
There's no doubt about that. I'm gonna try to do some of that today. But again, it's time for our first Lincoln Trust Texas Ranger Report, MLB. The Rangers. I want to get your thoughts on this, Josh. They let a guy go in Letty, but they gave him a real sweet thank you for being here, but the door's that way on social media. The Rangers are below 500 at 18-20. The Red Sox put a little beating on them, and now they're coming home. Now, the best thing they got going for them is the Colorado Rockies, unless that's not.
They got to play the Tigers this weekend and then the Rockies next.
Yeah, well, I mean, at least the Rockies are coming to town.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, but give kind of your thoughts on the, Leote gone, but the thank you behind it. But at least we're glad that you're here. You've done your time. You got a ring. Go that way.
Well, Leote Taveras is an interesting situation because he's kind of one of those enigma players. Came up obviously with the Rangers, made it to the majors very young, was a highly rated prospect that showed flashes throughout his career with the Rangers of being, you're a legitimate, starting quality center fielder, like with fringe all-star type talent that he just never could keep going on a consistent basis. Luckily for us, in 2023, he had a very good year. He had key plays in the playoffs. He was a winning part of a winning team. But what frustrated me the most with him was, he was supposed to be a defense first center fielder, that could, maybe have 15 to 20 home run power and steal some bases and all of that. But he had just mental lapses on defense where he'd make some tough plays. And then, we lost a game earlier this year to the Athletics where he just, little league ground ball, just booted it, just a ground ball into the outfield. Not a hard hit ground ball, so it's mental lapses. So I think that inconsistency, ultimately, the Rangers were frustrated by it. And sometimes people like that need to go to a new place. And it might be, honestly, it's one of those things. I would not be surprised if he has a decent
Has he been picked up?
Yes, with the Mariners.
Okay.
Wouldn't be surprised if he ends up having a decent season because sometimes
Change of scenery.
Well, getting cut, you're like your team saying, hopefully someone else picks you up because we still owe you $4 million.
And we're kind of hoping that happens with George Pickens.
Yeah.
That
can light a fire, and that can be like that. Make you make that mental adjustment that if I want to stay playing baseball, I can't take mental breaks.
Right, and the other move that the Rangers made, they did recall Duran, sending Filler down, or not down, but injured. Duran's coming back, so it's a couple of moves. Again,
and he's been tearing it up in AAA, so we'll see if that can convert.
No, I do think it's interesting. One of the big news that would have been interesting that neither one of us, of course, I think a lot of this is because none of us are Catholic. But yesterday was the big news that Pope Leo is American from Chicago. And what I love is in the MLB section of the ESPN.com, it asks, is the Pope a Cubs or White Sox fan? He talked about Chicago pizza and all these things like that's a big deal. America gets the Pope, and of course now they're like, are the Cubs or the Bears or the Bulls or everybody going to be good now? I think it's just interesting that the news that is made of the American Pope.
Well, and also, I don't know if y'all saw this, but this was funny regarding the Pope, that it took us less time to pick a new Pope than Shadur Sanders getting drafted. And so I just thought that was kind of funny. Obviously, another stab at Shadur, but true. I mean, it's a true story.
No, but again, you think about the Pope and all that. It's just kind of interesting. I saw that Chicago and all that. But the Rangers, the good thing is that division it's not like anything else where you're seeing people just run away with the division. So it's not like you can't get hot, you can't get things turned around and have a good run. But it looked like last Sunday, DeGrom pitched fantastic,
He's looking like DeGrom. Like
pre-injured DeGrom.
Yes. It's taken some time for him to warm into the season a little bit. He hadn't been bad at it in any point this year, but it's really starting to tick up a notch. And we're still just getting very good pitching overall, So there is hope. There is, like you said, not getting buried. We can always just have the hope in the Mariners doing Mariners things, because they seem to be very consistently a team that can't finish, and there's a lot left. So,
all right, I'm going to put you on the spot. We got
Okay.
a couple minutes left. What baseball team? I mean, obviously we're not anywhere near the All-Star break. What baseball team is probably the biggest surprise either way in Major League Baseball?
the biggest surprise, well, it's one of those things that's like, I guess on the bad side would be the Orioles with all the talk about every year it's going to be the talent that they have and the minors that are coming up, and they're Adley Rutschman and Gunnar Henderson and Jackson Holliday and all of that, and they're not able to keep it together. So that is surprising, and you mentioned the Rockies earlier. No one thought they were going to be good, but it's like ridiculous bad.
Well, they last week we talked about how Andy Penny made the comment that if we all got together, got some buddies and played, we'd only have 4 less losses than the Rockies, and they had won those 2 games since we put that out. They're still at 6 wins since last week. So
they've lost 6 straight games.
They've not won a game in a week. So from last Friday to this Friday, they're still on the 6-win knot. Like there's the dollars that Misty raised on Tuesday. They may need to go to Colorado and help them raise some wins.
Yeah, they need something. And a team that's surprisingly really good, and they did some stuff in the offseason, so they were hoping this would happen, but the Cubs are doing very well. Another team that's disappointing is the Braves. Have just they're in a very similar situation with the Rangers. Had better expectations and have shown flashes of kind of getting better, but then haven't. And so that's interesting as well. But really, I truly am. The biggest shock to me is Ranger centric in the fact that the hitting is just completely absent at times, and they had I guess it was the game that they lost on, what was it, Tuesday, that they went 0 for 11 with runners in scoring position. Just like, so you get runners on base and you're not able to score, and that obviously has to change. So they've got a new hitting coach, the whole thing. So we'll
anxious to see Brett Boone, brother of Aaron Boone, all the things, see how that goes. But anyway, Rangers 18-20. Tigers coming to town, which again, Tigers lead the Central.
Tigers are good.
So that'll be a tough series, and then of course the Rockies start coming. Misty had mentioned it's high school baseball. The Wiley Bulldogs are playing today. Another team that's playing today are the Hamlin Pied Pipers. They're going to be taking on Westbrook, having a great year in football or in athletics in general for the Pied Pipers. When we come back, on our Pest Control phone line will be Coach Lynn Turner, the head baseball coach at Hamlin. Great coach, been in the area a couple of times at Anson and now back at Hamlin, leading the Pied Pipers. And so when we come back, our Big Country Electric My Town segment heads to Hamlin. All right.
Now you're over there.
I need a massage, but I can bend over.
There is a table right back there.
I can bend over just fine without any noises.
Look at you, braggart. Look, I can touch the floor.
Like,
Yep, yep.
Wow.
Home or all opener?
I think it just said home. Remember, I'm out the first week in June from when Jamaica, so that.
Yeah,
whatever that is,
we need to talk
it's
Jamaica.
Yeah, we need to talk in a
Summer, yeah,
couple of
because there's, in 2 weeks after that, I'm gone again, so yeah, we need to kind of look at summer scheduling, but that one's coming up in like 3 weeks. So. But it's just, I mean, it's just that one, I'll be out 2 Fridays in June,
I'm out one of them.
so. We need to figure that out.
I'll be out the 20th.
I'm gone the 20th. Hey, Coach, how are you?
We're not doing the show that week.
You're doing
Oh, yes, we'll figure it
No, we
out.
won't.
Sorry, Coach. I've got a co-host freaking out. She raised 2.3 million, but now she's freaking out. Oh yeah. Make sure we got a couple of commercials. Hey, congrats. The old Pied Piper's having a good year and everything. Because y'all made the playoffs in football, basketball, and now baseball, right? Nice, that's good stuff. All right, so we got a couple of breaks. Y'all got Westbrook today. First game's early, isn't it? Like at 11? Okay. All right, and area around, and we'll act like, how many years have you been at Hamlin? There you go. Where? All right, there. Oh, it was awesome. Yeah, he was awesome. Yeah, he was good. All right, Coach, just hang tight and we're about to come back. Okay. Every day, Roby Snyder and Stanford in those offices, and one of the areas that they do serve greatly is the Hamlin area. And joining us on our Pest Patrol phone line is the very own head baseball coach at Hamlin, Coach Lynn Turner. Coach, we appreciate you joining us this morning. Again, Coach, you've been in the area. I know you got to coach with a good buddy of mine, Coach Barnett at Anson, and you're familiar with the Big Country. Went to Hardin Simmons, I believe. So this Big Country area is kind of familiar to you in a lot of ways. And so, you mentioned off air, we were talking about how this is year number 5 there at Hamlin, and Hamlin's a place where it's had some success and then had a little bit of a drought of trying to get over, and maybe, classification made it difficult and enrollment. But this year, Hamlin has had a year from the beginning of sports and the beginning of the school year to obviously talking now in baseball. It's just been a great turnaround for the folks in Hamlin.
Yes, it has. When I got here the first year, I pretty much kind of had to recruit to get a full team, and I think we ended up with like 12 kids that year. And I had 2 kids come in one day and said, "Hey, we want to play." And that's 13 kids. And today, we've actually had a JV the last 2 years, like 21, 22 kids. So it's gotten better, and our kids have really bought into what we're doing. We have a pretty big junior class, and they play everything. And in fact, I have 8 juniors that play, and so they'll be back next year. I lose 2 seniors that will, we'll have more time filling those guys' shoes. But hopefully we can finish strong and have a good weekend. And we play Westbrook this weekend.
Well, you mentioned 2 seniors, and those guys, if they're coming in on that 2 senior run or ending a career, they were part of those very valleys of maybe Pied Piper athletics, and on the way up now and being able to go out. Talk about those seniors a little bit.
Yeah, they've been really good. One is Jan Fotis, that's our athletic director's son. And when he was a freshman when I got here, and he's done a great job. I got him at first base his sophomore year, and he's really come on there. And that's an important position, and he's filled that role about as good as he can. We got Tyson Davis, who's our catcher. He was in his sophomore year, and that was a great pickup for us. Just, that's an important position. You have to have a guy back there to be willing to work hard and do what it takes. And get dirty and do the things that he has to do as a catcher. He's done a great job, and I'm hoping we can keep this run going for those 2.
Well, and you mentioned, how important, of course, everybody looks to the shortstop and all those things, but that catcher is kind of, and some people may argue with me, I think they're more like they're kind of the quarterback of, maybe because it's such a grungy position, maybe more like the center on making sure everything runs, and having that senior leadership at catcher has got to be huge.
Yes, they're kind of the focal point. They're the first person that people see back there, and he touches the ball almost every play. And to me, that's important to have a catcher. I mean, yes, you need those other ones up the middle, shortstop, second base, center field, but to me, it's always kind of started with having a catcher that'll do what you ask him to do, be comfortable, and he's done that.
Well, and we mentioned earlier, of course, Coach Lucas had the runs with football and made some big runs. And talk about what the community's been like, knowing that success train is started to move again in Hamlin.
Yeah, it's been really exciting. Coach Fotis took over with a plan and a way to do things, and he kind of changed things. And the kids really, he's already been here, so the kids already knew him. He worked them hard, and he built big in the weight room, and we've seen a big difference in our kids, just with their strength and how much that's helped them in all our sports. And we continue to do that. And we have more and more that really buy into that every summer. We had a good group last year come up and work, and we got kids now that come up at night and work. I mean, they've really gotten where they like it. And that's been a big step in this program, is kids buying into the weight room and doing what it takes.
Well, and that's such a huge deal when you start success. Now, say 8th graders, freshmen, I think of the Grubin kid who I'm doing refereeing some basketball and all those things, and those kids that have gone through that, and even those younger kids that are starting to, now aren't so young anymore, but starting to see that success really starts kind of where, you plant a seed, and next thing you know, that growth starts going all the way down. And that way, when kids do graduate, you got people following behind them.
Yes, and that's a big step in what we're doing. And, these kids are good leaders for our younger kids. And, we got kids that are starting in junior high that, are starting to realize how important, the weight room and being
Well, and let's talk about this weekend. That, one of the big reasons we're talking is baseball season is continuing in Hamlin. You've got another program, especially they've been successful in basketball, obviously winning the state championship in football. So the team that you're playing today in Westbrook are kind of used to competing a little bit and being at these positions. Talk about what to this weekend series, which starts today at 11 o'clock at Abilene Christian, amazing facility out there on the north side of town. Talk about this series coming up that starts this morning at 11.
Yeah, you said it. Westbrook's, they're known for winning, and it really doesn't matter what sport it is. They've always seemed to be up there, no matter what it is. And I told our kids, one thing that I've always been is, don't look ahead because you might forget something that's right in front of you. And Westbrook's next, and they're very capable. They've got some good players. They got a couple of good pitchers. So, it's going to be a battle for us. We just need to go out and play the way we play. And let things take care of themselves. And it'll be a good series. And I just hope, our kids come out and play and give us a chance.
What would you say has been the strength of this team? Only two seniors. What has been the strength of the Pied Pipers and those strengths that you'll need to see today to get game 1 and 2 and not have to worry about tomorrow?
Yeah, well, I think, a lot of it depends on our pitching. We got 3 juniors, and, if they throw strikes, they're tough. And I think that's the thing is, keep them off the bases and throw strikes and make them hit the ball. And I like our chances if we do that. And we got 3 guys that can do that. We got a 4th one if we need him. So it's all year it's kind of come down to pitching and defense. And that's what I've always kind of hung my hat on. And that's what we really want to be good at. And then, we work on hitting too, and we hit the ball pretty well this year. So we just have to go out and do the same thing today that we've been doing. Just reminding, hey, it's another game, just go play.
Now, do y'all have school on Fridays, or y'all one of these 4-dayers, or what does this day look like with an 11 o'clock start?
We're out of school on Fridays, and the rest of the year. So I think last Friday was our first one. So just the rest of the year, we're out on Fridays, and next year we are going to that.
Okay, so you are going to the 4-day week starting next year.
Yes.
Well, good. From the people I've heard, it's been great. They enjoy that, and so that's big. Well, Coach, I appreciate you taking the time to jump on board here on the Hodgeback, and hopefully the Hammond folks, you can download, subscribe to the podcast, and go back and listen to the stuff that we talked about. And 11 o'clock. Hey, yeah, Coach, you can say, hey, I'm on the podcast that Dabo Sweeney was on one time.
That was neat.
Yeah, and so, but again, appreciate you and hope you guys take care of business, and maybe you'll have some seniors that graduate that still have some baseball to play.
I'm hoping for that. I appreciate y'all having me on.
I appreciate again. That's Coach Lynn Turner, the head baseball coach at Hamlin. Today at 11 o'clock, you need something to do. Great facility at Abilene Christian Schools. You can watch them. There's going to be a game 2, and I'm looking on it. Ira and May are playing there tonight. You can just hang out on the north side all day today and watch high school baseball. So, but anyway, appreciate it. It's Coach Lynn Turner. When we come back, we're going to open up Misty's bag. There's no telling what'll be in there. Coach, I appreciate it. Oh, no, you killed it. No, it was good, man. I appreciate it. And hope you guys take care of business today. All right, take care. We'll see you. Bye.
Yeah, same.
More, it being more better kids than Luke or Barrett.
In my obviously biased, but pretty objective on watching baseball, they should, but,
I've seen a lot of things that should have happened.
yeah, that's the thing.
Uh-huh.
Because it all, like,
There's politics in
It's so.
everything.
Oh, everything.
It's just like, it's really one of the only reasons that I've been as involved as I am. I mean, purely, they asked me to be on the board, one of the only reasons.
Uh-huh. Oh, I know. Yeah. I remember those days. Mm-hmm. And you better stay there too. It sucks that it has to be that way. I didn't even realize it was Mother's Day this weekend until yesterday.
I thought about it, and then I forgot about it, and then I was like, this week it was like, oh, I haven't really done anything.
But yeah, it was just like, I think everybody I've talked to has kind of been in that. They're like, oh crap, it's this weekend.
Luckily, I have kids, so I don't have to worry about doing anything for them. Their job.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Do you have a death wish?
I do have a mother.
Yes. Y'all better take care of your mothers this weekend.
Quit looking at me, Molly. You're the one that's supposed to get her something.
Yeah.
Barrett did one of those, that he brought home yesterday, was one of those classic, like, this little book where they fill in the different things and like,
Oh, those are the best.
Like, it's funny, but you better be careful because, this is funny, that's even in there, but it's like, my mom weighs, he put 163 pounds, I was like, you overshot that one.
She's right, she's so tiny.
like,
She may because she's going to probably eat you.
Normally, I feel like kids put like 57 pounds, and you're like, that's funny.
yeah. He
Yeah.
also put that she was younger than she was, so there's some balance.
Yeah, that's so funny. Kids, but it's just funny what they think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, Leanne is so tiny.
Well, see, the thing with those guys is like, it really goes to the sports stuff, because they're always like, they're so like, reading baseball cards and stuff like that, so it's like, 163 is small.
Well, I'm thinking like, she probably didn't even weigh that when she was carrying twins. Like she's
no.
so tiny. I still, when I look at Leanne, I'm like, how did she carry two babies?
Welcome back to the Hodgepodge Sports Life and everything in between. We appreciate Coach Lynn Turner joining us to talk about the Pied Pipers playing today. So congratulations to them on a good run, and hopefully they'll keep going. But we're glad that you're with us. We thought we had some breaking news, but we can't share that yet. So Josh will doing. It is time for Mrs. Bell.
Misty's Bag is brought to you by Mulligan's. And I'm so excited because y'all probably already saw this, but brunch is back, baby. Tomorrow, Mulligan's is hosting their brunch with special hours. They will start serving food at 10 a.m. So they're not going to open at 11. They're going to open up at 10. $1 mimosas, $2 screwdrivers, $5 Bloody Marys.
The hardware store?
Yeah. Yeah. Crude. Classic breakfast, chicken and waffles, breakfast burritos, biscuits and gravy, all the brunch bevies like we just talked about. And you can add tater kegs to any of those.
Could you imagine a tater keg on the top of biscuits and gravy?
Oh, it is in the burrito, and I've had a bite. It's delicious. I mean, the tater kegs are delicious on their own, but then you add like eggs and a tortilla and salsa, and they just get better. So,
Hey, another thing that Mulligan's is helping with, and we've talked about the different charity things that they do. Friend of the show, Terry Hagler, is helping put together a benefit for Houses for Healing. It'll be June 14th. It's a hole-in-one shootout. $20 per bucket. You can.
How much for just one ball? That's all I need.
Well, we'll look at that. You're the banker. You figure that out. But
Well, I
it's
don't know
gonna
how
be,
many balls are in a bucket. Don't want to waste any of my money.
that's true. That's true. You can donate it back like the rich people do at those auctions.
Oh, that's
Donate
a good
that
idea.
back. Yeah. Anyway.
run it back.
Yeah. Saturday.
Like the rich people do.
Also known as not any of us.
Yeah.
I mean, I could probably swing a $20 donation, so I can do that.
Well, we'll do that later. I'll talk about what
Dig
we're
around in the couch cushions for long enough.
but anyway, so definitely hole-in-one shootout at Mulligan's. Tons of sponsors that appreciate them. There'll be live music. We'll get this posted on our social media, but check it out. Houses for Healing is the beneficiary of that event, and you can win $200,000 if you ace one. So it'd be pretty cool. Help you pay for
It's quite
the bar
return on
tab.
investment.
That is, but also, yeah, no, that's insane.
So that's June 14th, and Misty back to you.
All right. And yeah, don't forget, of course, they have Jindo on Monday nights, Key City Karaoke Tuesdays, Wing Wednesdays, which is another personal favorite day of mine. And don't sleep on the patio, y'all, with graduation parties coming up.
I have a home.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could sleep on the patio.
I mean, I'm sure they have had people pass out before there, you know.
Don't act like nobody's taking a nap.
Yeah, I mean, no judgment, but, you know.
What's your wing go to?
Believe it or not, I should let y'all guess, because I don't think you'd guess this. Lemon pepper.
I was actually going to guess lemon.
Were
pepper.
you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow,
Do you
it's a
go
dry
boneless or
rub,
good?
and
No,
it's
it's good.
so
It is good.
good.
Yeah, traditional or boneless?
I mean, I'm a child, so give me the chicken nuggies. It's boneless
Chicken
all
nuggies.
the way for me. But don't.
If you get the traditional, you better have napkins, because I agree, lemon pepper. I don't know if I would guess that, but I'm a fan of lemon pepper. But you better be ready, because they get sticky.
I will
they're
do a
good.
traditional. He went. He's ready for
Yeah, I
me
know, it's
Wednesday.
Oh, don't give me, what was the show where you were like trying to enunciate crunch or whatever it was, yum, yum, or whatever. Hey, ask your question.
Okay.
Shut your mouth.
Just shut your mouth when you're talking to me. Okay, so this question came up this week, and I was chatting with a friend, and I never really thought about this, but we're going to be talking about mascots of fast food.
Oh,
Because
like Burger King?
it's just so weird to me that fast food has mascots, and I don't know that we haven't ever talked
I've
about
never
it.
really thought about it.
Right.
But didn't the Mets have a whole big deal with Grimace? Like, never mind. You'll look that up. Look that up.
I want to know, out of the fast food mascots, who wins in a bar fight? So, you've got Ronald McDonald, you've got Colonel Sanders, that little chihuahua from Taco Bell, the Burger King, and Wendy. I mean, that little redheaded girl, she could throw some punches, I don't know. But it's just, to me, so weird. Like,
Please
why do
jot
they
that
have,
down so I remember to put it in the podcast title.
but like, why do they have mascots?
I think Ronald McDonald would have a chance because so many people are scared of clowns, they freak out.
Yeah, it is scary.
True.
Because he could come up dressed up as it.
I mean,
as,
Chuck E. Cheese, we're literally right across from Chuck E.
the
Cheese.
mouse. You remember Showbiz Pizza?
Showbiz, I do remember.
That was here in Abilene. It was like the mouse was Chucky, and then you had the bear was part of Showbiz Pizza.
Chick-fil-A cow. Like, there are so many.
I don't know.
My nephew just said, where do you come up with this stuff? He said Chuck E. Cheese is scary.
Yeah. I mean, we love it here in the mall. That we're just saying, but Chucky couldn't win.
That's from like his 7th grade birthday or something, and we had it there.
But if you think about it, how many
Our 7-year-old,
of
maybe
your
a
kids,
7.
you've got
7-year-olds.
You've got 3, you got 2. How many lost their mind when they saw Santa?
I know, that's what I'm saying.
They're very scary.
Mascots in general are scary, some of them, but thinking about this fast food situation, I'm just like, why are there like?
Well, because you want to associate.
I mean, yeah, I get it.
You have a person that you could resonate with.
I mean, I get it, but I don't know. That's just something I've never really thought of. So I was like, I'm gonna ask you guys.
Okay.
So who wins in a bar fight?
Well, I'm always nervous when Corey Jenkins' name pops up on my phone.
Well,
I just
all right,
love
so-
that Braxton texted me because he literally at his, maybe he was 7 or 8. I don't remember. Maybe he was younger, but literally Chucky came out and he was terrified.
But I think, and again,
because that's terrifying.
but
Well, I guess when you're like a little kid.
But I think you think about it, all mascots, not just, and we love Chuck E. Cheese right across the hall and
Of
all those
course.
things. But mascots in general scare. I mean, it's like there's, if you're a kid whisperer inside that and can get that mascot to come kind of love you, like Bomber. Everybody loved Bomber at
Yeah,
Flying Boston game. It takes a minute because it's like you can either scar a kid for life, which some probably have not still gone to see Santa at 47. They got scared when they were 3 or 2. But when I think of mascots as far as like, because you see this is actually on the NCAA game back in the day, where you could play football and it would be the mascots playing against each other.
Yeah.
So if you were to see them in a fight or playground where I spent most of my days, shooting b-ball outside the school, when a couple of fast food mascots came out, acting
No
all cool,
good.
Yeah.
acting no good,
In
yeah.
the neighborhood? Uh-huh.
So I had to go live with Uncle Phil. I don't know who the leader in the clubhouse would be. I think Colonel Sanders has some. I don't know if you're a human, if that's considered a mascot. I guess
He does have a cane he could hit people.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
And I think most people would think, "Oh, I'm not going to beat up an old man," and bam, he just takes them out.
Yeah, I think he's an underdog. You would think, and then he comes out swinging. I don't know. I'm just saying that windy little girl. I'm just saying
A lot
with the
of horror
pigtails.
movies started with
With
yeah.
pigtails, I don't know. I feel like there's something scary there. That's all I'm saying.
All right, so you're going with
I
red.
think I'm going with redheads are fiery.
Yeah, you're going.
So I think
you're
I'm going with
Wendy.
Wendy. My
All right.
money's on the little girl.
All right, well,
I know he's like, this is so weird.
it is the weirdest question, and you've had a lot of weird questions. But I'm gonna have to think that it's the Burger King because that guy's creepy. There's that commercial where they're advertising their breakfast, and like the guy opens the window and he's just staring at the other side of the window. So he's got some stalker in him, and his face is plastic, so you couldn't hurt him when you punched him.
Yeah, the Burger King is scary. Kind of reminds me of that, like, was it Stranger Things, that horror movie where they had, or in The Purge where they had those
The Purge,
oh,
yeah,
that
The Purge,
movie is creepy.
It's a really scary movie.
Yeah, that one is super creepy. So you're going Burger King. I'm going Wendy. Hodge, what are you thinking over there?
I was actually thinking, the Long John Silver pirate,
He probably has guns and a sword, so
Yeah.
yeah, that's probably.
and can make you walk the plank
I totally forgot about
Yeah, and they
Long
have
John
fish
Silver.
planks.
Yeah,
and chicken planks.
Yeah,
That
that's
are fantastic.
and little crunchies.
Hey, well, I was gonna
And
say, that
yum.
place was kind of underrated. I don't know if
The
this.
crunchies could be thrown at you, just like
Oh,
China
that
stars,
sounds so good.
or like ninja stars.
Ninja stars. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on Ninja stars.
So
I'll hijack the segment.
yeah, we're getting close to having to go to the second hour, but I think I'm going to go. I just think Ronald McDonald still has a pretty good chance. I mean,
You're right. The clown face does scare a lot of
yeah, and
people.
if he just fixes his hair right, they think he's it.
I'm not mad at you about that. I do think that,
Giant
So far,
red
we've got
shoes.
2 redheads in this battle.
Giant red.
which
shoes.
means you're going down, which means the Burger
'cause
King
like,
is going
like on that
down.
Austin Powers, when that guy throws a shoe. And
Yeah.
he's like,
Who
seriously,
throws a
who
shoe?
throws a shoe?
Yeah.
Well, if you got a huge shoe, that's it.
That
So,
would be a weapon.
I mean,
Uh,
Ronald
but-
McDonald does have that.
so Ron McDonald, Wendy, and who'd you go with?
I went with the Burger King, but
Burger
I
King,
already lost. It's a bad choice.
Yeah, your crown's no longer yours, it's ours.
But it is flame broiled.
That is true. It is
I
true.
love this question
Yeah.
so much.
And according to their new slogan, you
weird.
rule,
Yeah.
but you do not
But you
rule.
don't.
Well, there you
because
go.
The 5-year-old's taking you down.
The Mulligans, Missy's back. Who do you have? Send us. Will tell us. We got Long John Silver, Pirate. Who do you have that would be winning in a fast food or restaurant mascot brawl outside? I don't know. Where do they want to fight? Anyway, we've got the,
It's gotta be inside.
oh yeah, it's gotta be inside, because I don't need my makeup mountain from Ronald McDonald going down. When we come back, one of the greatest of all time steps down, and the Cowboys have a new receiver. We'll kick off hour number 2 right after this.
The fact that Braxton was listening during that segment was hilarious because he really did that. That may have been one of the weirdest, and I loved every minute of it.
What?
That question.
What about
I
it?
said it may have been one of the weirdest, but I loved every minute of it.
As to like what other mascots there were. It's like at first it's like, I didn't know that. Then I started thinking, like, oh, that's wrong.
I know that's why I think it was interesting because they're so, and like Long John Silver's, I don't know who said that, but shout out because I didn't even think about that.
No, is
And
that
like the
Long John
Chick-fil-A
Silver's still open
cow,
over there on
North 6?
I think so.
Yes,
One
I ate
over there
there.
Obviously became something else.
ER.
Yeah. But man, those crunchies with that tartar sauce,
All right, we've got,
yum.
it's funny.
I have not eaten at that place.
What?
Like Long John Silver's.
You should.
I'm willing to
Yeah.
clog the arteries today
It's like-
after hearing that.
Okay,
I used to love it.
Oh, yeah, same.
I just put in fast food mascots. Ronald McDonald, Colonel Sanders, Burger King, the Taco Bell Chihuahua, Jack in the Box, which that guy's kind of weird, Chuck E. Cheese, Grimace.
Oh,
Grimace, something in the
No,
mess.
I looked it up.
Yeah.
Grimace, yeah.
The Noid, Domino's Pizza, I don't remember that guy.
I didn't remember that he was trying to stop the pizza from getting there.
I don't remember Noid.
He was annoying.
Yeah,
The little Caesar, Julius Caesar pizza guy.
Oh, yeah.
The cow, Hamburglar.
Mm.
Remember they had the mascot of, or the equipment.
Yeah,
North
yeah,
First
yeah.
had a cool,
Oh, there was one over here too. You could get up in there and there's like a giant burger that was like a cage. I don't
yeah,
know.
and you can see the window like it was a cruise ship, like you're looking at a
what's
cruise
going
ship.
on?
The dog doesn't scare me from Taco Bell. He seems like he's like
Mr. Peanut,
stoned or something.
Mr. Peanut
Yeah.
from Planters.
Right. He's like Cheech and Chong. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Who?
The Yo Quiero Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be scared of him. He would just sit back and take the fight in
Yeah.
and be chilling on the bar stool.
If you think about spokespersons like Flo, Jake,
Okay, yes.
you could go back to the original Jake who was just in khakis in a cubicle,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden the new Jake worked out and was fit. And
Yeah.
And they have so many spokespeople, like,
I've got time.
I mean, Caitlyn, Aaron Rodgers has been, Patty Mahomes. Like,
Insurance has
Yeah,
more
they-
different.
the athletes.
No, but like it is crazy how many stars they have in their roster. I'm trying to think. I feel like there's probably more. Those are just maybe the recent ones that I've like remembered. And then how about Angel Reese? She's like all over McDonald's
I
now.
know.
She's got a deal with Ronald. I know. I'm trying to think of more. Ooh, what about the wiener at Wiener Schnitzel? Like the little hot dog man.
Oh, the hot dog man.
I mean, he's definitely not scary, but now I'm just like going down. Whataburger doesn't have one. Arby's, does Arby's have anything?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay,
We've got.
yes, but yeah. Fast food.
Taco Bueno?
Does Taco Bueno have
Not
anything?
that I'm aware of.
I don't think so.
I
So
don't-
see, and that's also weird. Like that. I mean, there's a lot of them, but there's also not a lot of them too.
But if you think about it, used to, it was the beer companies that had the best campaign.
Uh huh.
I think insurance agencies.
Oh yeah.
taking over that.
Oh, 100%. I'm just trying now to think of fast food places that don't have it.
Well, I think most of them don't.
Subway had Jared, but that backfired.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it
Had to
did.
try that one again.
Dang. We talked about the Wiener Man from Wiener Schnitzel. And then,
Oscar Mayer had the car, and every once in a while you'd see it driving down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see
Whoa,
it.
Wiener just went by. Hey, I'm gonna tell you, yesterday we were at that washer deal, and all of a sudden we heard this, and we look, and this little red Mercedes, the hood, like on Tommy Boy.
Oh no! I hope they weren't injured.
No, thank God, nobody's in front, nobody's behind.
Oh,
They were
gosh.
able to pull in, and by Braille, I guess, pull into that
Oh
parking lot.
no!
What parking lot was it?
Next door, by like West Texas Golf and all that.
Uh-huh.
We were at Reese or Morrison's.
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you, it was.
That's my fear with my Bronco, because sometimes I'll get to going fast and it is like jumping.
All I could think of was, what did you do?
You know, that's
Such a
one of those things that's funny.
Welcome back to the Hodgepodge.
Tommy Boy.
Welcome back to the Hodgepodge Sports Live and everything in between.
Twain.
Time to kick off hour number 2,
I'm
brought to you
crying.
by Coleman County State Bank. Hey, I'm telling you, it is crazy. Hour 2 is rocking and rolling. We appreciate all of you. Thank you. If you missed hour number 1, be sure you head over and download, subscribe. You're going to want to, because if you missed our mascot fighting in a brawl, not in a brawl, in a brawl.
Not in a brawl.
Well, I mean, maybe. I don't
That would be scary too, Ronald. McDonald, go put some more on. But anyway, so yeah, we had a question that went awry, or actually went straight exactly where it should go. But hour number 2, I was telling them yesterday, if you've seen the great classic Tommy Boy, there was this, I don't know if it was a lady man or what, but it was a little red car, and it was driving down the road, and we're throwing washers for a charity, or for well, it is a charity, I guess. Anyway, we're tossing them, and all of a sudden we hear this noise, and look, and this red car's hood flopped right open, like, it's kind of like when a leg's not supposed to go that way, the hood's not supposed to go that way. And honestly, congrats, props to the person that was able to drive, pull in. I guess, I don't know if they stuck their head out like Ace Ventura did to see where they were going.
Yeah, they had to.
But yeah, and pulled into the parking lot, and then all of a sudden, it made me think of like people that when they roll their ankle or dislocate their shoulder, they just put it back in. I never really saw any commotion, like, hey, let's help that person or anything. So maybe they just got out, threw it back down like it happened before, and just drove
No
off.
big deal.
But all I could think of was Tommy Boy. What did you do?
That's one of those things that, like, with all, sympathy towards the afflicted party, that's hilarious.
Yeah, but like
I
new
would
fear
laugh
unlocked.
out loud.
Oh.
And
I'd be so scared.
Couldn't help it.
Oh, we did, and we did, and then it was a lot. It was like one of those laughs that you like, come back down, serious moment. Person's okay, they've already driven away, and the laughter goes back up. For sure, that is no doubt exactly what we did yesterday. But anyway, so mascot, send us to them either on at Hodgepack on Twitter, or if you're watching online or listening to us, you can send it to us through Facebook, or you obviously have our numbers in text. This past week, one of the things that happened shortly after our show last week was the great Greg Popovich stepping down as the head coach for the Spurs. Had been out pretty much all season long for this season after unfortunate stroke, but made the decision to step down and is now going into a head of basketball operations role, president role, El Jefe, as he called it. Misty, you mentioned earlier being on the show 5 years. There's no secret you're on the Spurs side of Texas basketball fans more than maybe the Mavs side. Big day and a big step down for the Spurs and really the whole association with Pop leaving the side court.
I mean, yeah, the guy's just a complete legend. And yes, I've always been a Spurs fan. And so I've always enjoyed Pop and, of course, the success that he has brought to the Spurs franchise. I've had to look up some of his stats because he's just that amazing. But 5-time NBA champion, most wins by a head coach in NBA history, 3-time NBA Coach of the Year. He's got an Olympic gold medal. Of course, he was the head coach of Team USA in Tokyo in 2020. Longest tenured head coach in NBA history. 22 consecutive playoff appearances with the Spurs from 1998 to 2019. Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame inductee, class of 2023. I mean, you can't compete with the guy. Like, he's a complete legend.
And we think of greatest coaches of all time. Bill Belichick pops in. Some people will throw in Phil Jackson because of the number of titles that he has won. Obviously, Vince Lombardi. You think of maybe Joe Torre on the baseball side, Pat Riley. Misty mentioned that he is the winningest coach in NBA history. Here are your remaining 4 of the top 5 of all time. Don Nelson, number 2, coached the Warriors and also coached the Mavs. Number 3 is Lenny Wilkins, won a championship with the Seattle Supersonics back in the day. Jerry Sloan, unfortunately, one of the reasons he doesn't have any rings is because of Michael Jordan. And then Pat Riley's number 5. And you start thinking about those, and Jerry Sloan was a great coach at Utah. I mean, you think of the teams, and we're going to get to the finals, and unfortunately, it's going to come to an end because we have to play Michael. But when you think about greatest of all time, and you start making that Mount Rushmore of 4 coaches, I think you have a hard time not, even if we did live in Texas, which makes it easier to argue, and we talked about offline about how sometimes Pop might have got out of the line of what he wanted to say politically and turned some people off, but he was that first coach that kind of made you laugh when the interviews on the sideline, whether it was Craig Sager or whoever was doing those interviews on the side, made you laugh. But it'd be a hard time not saying that Popovich, not greatest basketball coach of all time, but throwing him on the greatest coaches of all time, chiseling him in that Mount Rushmore 4.
No, you have a good argument. Just all the resume that Misty just read, do it with championships with superstars, but then because Robinson and Duncan being on the same team, that was obviously a different scenario. But then with the second kind of run that they had at the end of Duncan's career with Ginobili and Parker, guys that were probably elevated by the system, not as good, not purely superstars in their own right, but fit in the role that was set for them very well. So that lends itself to good coaching, and like I said, the resume is quite impressive.
Yeah, it's hard to argue. I mean, I think you chisel him up there, in my opinion. Obviously, being a Spurs fan helps, but yeah, it's hard to compete, like you said, Josh, with that resume. So put him up there. I would chisel him in all day long as one of the top greats.
Well, and a thing that popped up this past week, again, I referenced in Sportsmanlike a lot. They talked about, and I need to look up the guest. I'll look that up when I throw this question out to you. Was just how great of a coach was Pop and all those things. And they started looking at, Bill Belichick. How great of a coach was he? How great of a coach was Phil Jackson? When you start looking at who they coached and what they did without those guys, without Tom, obviously we saw Tom go win a Super Bowl in Tampa. Phil was success obviously at Chicago, Lakers. That success was there for the Knicks. Didn't have that kind of success on the coach of the Knicks. So just how great of a coaches are, and where do you throw that in of when you have impeccable talent, Hall of Fame talent on your roster, and not only that, you look at obviously Tom Brady, ironically did win with Randy Moss, but the people that they won those with, but then you look at Phil Jackson, Kobe, Shaq, Michael, and Scotty. Where do you fall that in on the coach to elevate him to where he is that greatest? Or is it coaching or being able to handle the divas and the personalities that you coach?
Well, and something interesting, I don't know if y'all saw it, but, villain Draymond Green actually did an interview and was getting choked up as he talked about Pop and called him, just a gentle giant, that he had this exterior that you wouldn't think he was that way, but he actually was super kind, but he also didn't take any crap at the same time. And so I thought that was really interesting because, Draymond always comes off as a punk. And for him to get emotional talking about Pop, in my opinion, said something. But I think what's really cool about Pop is he didn't have Michael Jordan. He didn't have Kobe. He didn't have, yes, Duncan, obviously. But to Josh's point about Parker and Ginobili, I mean, great players, but they had a role to play and they did it well. And I think they were underrated a lot until they started having the success as the three and kind of face of the franchise at that point in time. So to me, I think it makes it even more special that Pop was able to elevate those other role players.
Well, they also had Robert Ory, so it was probably not fair.
Right. All Robert Ory did is win titles.
Right.
Yeah.
Whether it was with the Lakers, the Rockets, the Spurs.
Right.
I mean, if we could have got him over to Dallas, we probably had more than one.
Yeah. Yeah. Big shot Bob, as they say. But no, like I said, I don't follow basketball enough to really have a strong opinion on it overall, but it's one of those things that's also an interesting thing when you think about cross sports, comparing what does somebody do on like a football coach, a basketball coach, a manager in baseball. There's different criterias, I guess, and how you combine that all together. But he's definitely in the conversation.
Yeah, no, you're right. I don't know how you pick who's, I guess it comes back to what sport is your favorite. Like you said, you don't really follow it. I don't follow it near as much as I used to, the NBA. But man, back then when the Spurs were on the run and just having back-to-back consecutive successful seasons, I was all in.
I think the other thing that you got to look at, and Mitch Johnson, he's 38 years old. He took over the final 77 games post-stroke for Pop, went 31-45. Is the challenge, and I guess one of the benefits he has is he has Victor Wembanyama, who has all this hype on his roster, but the pressure of being the guy following the guy.
Oh yeah, I would not want that job.
It's usually a quick fail.
Yeah.
Sometimes it works out, but often it's a quick fail.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting of how they handle, how often does he go up to that office that Pop's in? How often does Pop wander down to practice? When does it become Coach Johnson's team? When is it Mitch's team, and what can they do?
And see, that's one of those things. I mean, I get it as far as like moving him off the court, but in doing so, do you even give the coaching staff a real chance to?
If he's still like lingering.
Yeah.
I think it could be a catch.
I agree with that.
Well, I think it could be good. It could, but it could be.
Right. It's either going to be, hey, we're glad that you're here, or hey, Pop, we need you to go back to your office.
Does it feel like a micromanage at that point in time?
And maybe.
Or are you always fearful you're getting second guessed by?
Oh, of course.
Right.
If he's out there watching your practice, you better believe you're feeling like a failure.
I think, I think and I've got 30 seconds, but it's very similar. Geno Smith is the new quarterback for the Raiders. One of those owners is Tom Brady. I mean, you think about that, and it's one of those deals. Are you going to be a mentor? Are you going to be a good advisor? Are you going to help the success flow from you that has and pass it on, little grasshopper, to the people below you? Or will you be a hindrance? It'll be interesting, but again, Popovich, he's probably going to be safe with the winningest coach of all time. I don't see anybody staying around that long and having success that Pop did. When we come back, going to ask these two, did the Cowboys have a good offseason? And did we like the trade that happened just 2 days ago?
I was literally crying. Like my eyes were watering for that entire segment.
Do you think you could take out the Georgia peach or the juicy peach? If the juicy peach came at you to fight,
I mean, honestly, that is something. There's something to be said about this.
the juicy peach.
It looks like it's done several squats.
Yes.
I think the peach could take me out. I know. I'm just trying to think of other ones now. But like looking at Chuck E. Cheese, it actually looks like a friendly little mouse.
I will tell you,
Like on the wall, but the mascot costume itself is a little
and
scary.
they have a segment, but Peyton had his birthday over there back in April, and I think there's a certain age where you're cool with it.
Was he cool with it?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're right. I think at first you're just like, oh my gosh, this is a big scary monster coming after me. And the Easter Bunny, well, it's not fast food, but you mentioned Santa. The Easter Bunny is always creepy. Like, I've never seen a friendly Easter Bunny costume.
No, they
Like,
are creepy.
Right, their eyes are like twitchy. I don't know. It's weird. They're definitely on something. But yeah, Chucky looks pretty friendly from this angle. Man, it's already.
Go to juicypeach.com. Juicy Peach booty shorts.
Ooty, not booty?
Be glad, hey.
Wait, booty or ooty?
I think you better be glad that's all you got on this.
I just searched Juicy Peach just to see what.
Yeah, don't hit the images, bro.
Yeah, you may get to those boxes or your orders.
So it's just like booty shorts?
At juicypeach.com, but it doesn't know.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. Yeah. I don't have Juicy Peach booty
No,
shorts.
if you do images, it's just peach.
Oh, that's kind of surprising.
Millions of peaches.
Peaches for me. Peaches for free. I forgot about that song.
Oh, and your drink is on there.
Oh yeah. But you're so observant because I've never noticed that it said juicy. And it is a little disturbing now. I can't unsee it now. I'm sure these are absolutely terrible for me, but you know, it's okay. I'm probably gonna have another one when I get to the office.
Probably.
Abilene Gibbs Day, I had a Monster and 2 Alanis, just to keep me like up. I'm getting my hair done today at 1:30. Do we think I should chop off a couple inches? Any thoughts? No thoughts? Y'all are no help. Or should I keep growing it? I like the length, but
You're getting your haircut that day?
today. Are y'all, well, I mean, Leanne has short hair. Tracy has like, I don't know, what would you call that? Like medium range hair?
Medium length.
Medium length. Are y'all, I mean, I guess y'all are good. Y'all don't care. Some guys are like Clay. He's like,
Grow that out.
he's like, you can never have it like above like your chin. Like he's just not a short hair guy for me. And so I was just curious if y'all had.
Back in the day, Leanne had longer hair, and I would say, typically, say like I like longer hair, but then she started cutting the way that she does.
I know, I love her. I think her hair like suits her and her like spunky personality. It's perfect. But thanks for being absolutely no help. That was cool.
I am
cool,
no help.
cool story.
I think you should get it shaved on the side.
Should I go like G.I. Jane?
Like comb it up to here, shave here, and then let it fall down kind of like the extra from Braveheart. All right. Tell me when your appointment is. I will show up and just.
Also no help. I'm probably going to do like an inch or 2 off maybe. It needs to get some dead off probably. More blonde. Oh.
Baby.
Welcome back to the Hot Track Sports Live and everything in between. Brought to you by Lot of Landing Cattle. We're hanging out in the Potosi Live Studio. Potosi Live Studio. Speaking of Potosi Live, they've got some great stuff coming up. Head over to PotosiLive.com. They've got, of course, the rest of May. They've got comedy coming on May 17th, Signo coming on May 30th, and Giovanni and the Hired Guns on May 31st. Big concert, Braxton Keith, June 20th. Ty Myers, September 20th. And one that and I hate that I'm going to be out of town, but June 21st, Rob Schneider, you can do it. Deuce Bigelow, all those other shows, and Copier, making copy.
Yeah.
Will be at Potosi Live. Shout out to Potosi Live, a small business award winner. Great job for Moy and Chris and Donovan and all those guys. Appreciate them very much in all that they do.
They do so much good.
Yeah.
Like they deserve
Well, and they're
that
going to be busy
award.
this weekend with Western Heritage.
Yes.
So
Such a great crew. They do
Yeah.
so good.
yeah, they do a great job. And so, all right, I asked you the question earlier on whether or not we thought that the Cowboys had a good offseason. This past week, they made the trade for George Pickens, former second-round draft pick for the Steelers, out of Georgia. Had a decent success. He first 2 seasons played all 17 games. This past year, only played 14. Has shown some healthiness for the most part. Bit of a deep threat. And I'll throw it in, following up with this, have the Cowboys had a good offseason? But then I want to put it first. Did you like the trade of adding Pickens to the receiving corps?
I'm going to start with a question back to your question.
Okay.
Do y'all know how many Pro Bowlers has been in Dak's time with the Cowboys? How many have been since his time at the Cowboys?
How many Pro Bowlers or how many Pro Bowl weapons?
Pro Bowlers since his time in Dallas.
That's a huge number.
Well,
55.
Yeah.
To be exact. So I have some thoughts on this trade. I like to see things that we're doing, but it ultimately is going to come back down to number 4. Okay, yes. Is it an exciting duo to watch with CD? Absolutely. Does it have potential? Absolutely. Does this rejuvenate the team because DC actually did a good trade to elevate the rest of your weapons on the team? Yes. But at the end of the day, it is going to come back down to number 4.
I don't like your tone right now.
And can he get it done?
It's pretty mascotty. I'm going to have to start calling her, her new nickname.
I'm just saying.
With this feistiness, her new nickname is Wendy.
I mean, am I wrong? Am I wrong? Yes. Are we going to have one of the
55
best offenses? Absolutely. But I don't think this one trade is just like, oh, okay, we can get it done. Dak has shown he can't get it done in the playoffs. So I'm a little like, yes, is this good? Is this a massive deal for us? Absolutely. But in my opinion, it's still going to come down to number 4. And what is he going to do with his weapons?
But I think the other deal that I look at is, yes, he's had 55 Pro Bowlers, but are all of those 55 on the offense?
No.
I mean, I think that's got to be
Of
part of it.
course not.
I mean, that's got to be part of it. I mean, he can't tackle. I mean, he throws in that thing.
He elevates. Pickens is going to elevate, but again, you can't say that it's not going to come back to Dak.
All right, so based on what you just said, you like the trade?
No, I like the trade. I'm good with it. You know, this year feels more like when they said, oh, we're going all in last year and did nothing. They said nothing this year, and I'm not necessarily calling it going all in, but it is good. It is going to elevate. It's going to help CD to take some of that double team heat off, which is going to be great. But at the end of the day, it is going to come down to number 4.
She kind of reminded me of Macho Man Randy Savage.
If I had a Slim Jim, we could have really snapped it.
I mean, I'm excited to watch, but I'm also not just going to be like, it's our year, we're going to the Super Bowl. I'm just not there yet. But I am excited about this trade, and I will be excited to watch. I hope that we have I just know what I know about Dak Prescott.
Man, all right. Here's the thing. I see where you're coming from, and I in no way, shape, or form think like now we're going to the Super Bowl because we got Pickens to play wide receiver. But the whole overall of like what Hodge was, to the original question, I think, because I've forgotten what it was.
Are you happy? Yeah,
Do
good
you
with
like
the
the
trade.
trade?
No,
And did they win? How would you grade in the offseason?
All right. Did I like the trade? Yes. You gave up a 3rd-round pick basically to get a receiver to come in. The downside is he's on the last year of his contract, so if you're going to keep him for more than a year, you're going to have to come up with some money. The Cowboys have had ways of doing that, so we'll see how that plays out. No, but the trade, like I said, for the cost to reward basis, I think it's good, and it does give a legit number two to be out there that the Cowboys have been missing, so that should help things. The Cowboys throw the ball the fourth most of any team last year as far as like passing attempts. That so yes, it makes the team better, but the overall off season, I think has been, and I'm not being an overly optimistic homer on this, but I think it's been sneaky good. I think that they added experience and depth in free agency without going like bonkers and spending a ton of money on any like one particular player.
I would agree with that.
They still leave their flexibility there to try to manipulate and add talent / keep talent as they move forward. So that's good. I think the draft we talked about a little bit before. They went into that approach of like not necessarily just going. They needed a wide receiver. They needed a wide receiver. The wide receiver that they wanted went before they got to them, and instead of like stretching, making a move that might have like to try to trade up or something like that. That just the trade up stuff that I saw in the draft, the people that traded up, in my opinion, all overpaid, and you hurt yourself obviously in next year's draft by giving away picks and things like that to try to get a pick this year. So I think the restraint there paid off, because now for a third round pick, you get a talent that is already established that can come in and do something like hopefully immediately. And they have added depth, and that still allows them to be flexible. So overall, I give the offseason a good, I mean, I don't know if I'd give it an A, B, but towards the top of the class.
I think they're very much playing.
Yeah.
Past the play.
Yeah.
They passed. I
Right.
think it's not a C. I think I'd give it in that B, a solid B, with, if it's almost like the first semester was a B, which was the trades and the draft and the acquisitions and maybe flying under the radar, not being hurt.
Yeah, the sneaky point to
was-
Josh is
was
correct.
beneficial.
Yeah.
And so in all that, I like what we did. And here's the deal about George Pickens. Obviously, the biggest struggle with him is not what he does on the field. It's what's his mental state, what's his attitude, what kind of teammate is he going to be? Because, I think it's kind of a red flag. It could be a red flag if Mike Tomlin is done with you from a, hey, we can't reach you, from a making it to be about you standpoint, sending you packing. That is a little bit of nerve-wracking deal. But, and I wrote down in my notes when I got to the studio, Brian Schottenheimer and George Pickens are very similar in this. One has doubts because of his attitude, doubts because is he going to be a good team player? And the other, with Brian Schottenheimer, we're all still curious, what's he going to be like as a first-year head coach? Is he going to be a guy that has, we're going to set the right deal? They changed all the locker rooms. That was a big talk. They rearranged everything and put Micah and Dak right by each other, basically saying, guys, you're together. This is your locker room. So I think they have a lot to prove. One of the things that we've not had in quite some time since pre-Michael Gallup getting hurt is a deep threat. Pickens gives us that.
Yes, he does.
Now, can Dak throw it that far, all that? I like the trade. I like the acquisitions. And the other benefit that we have, and I will give you this, make sure I'm right, 1999. Anybody want to guess, besides partying like it's 1999? Why that's important? Why it may be a good thing?
I'm trying to think. Last time we had.
It's the last time anybody went back-to-back and won the NFC East division.
Right, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's been altering back and forth, and for the last few years, except a little 2020 action where the Washington Commanders, or football team at that time, won it, nobody's won back-to-back titles. There is still, the Eagles did a lot. Are they going to come back and be reloading for another Super Bowl run, or are they going to still be trying to figure it out, come off that high, shorter, all those things? but I do agree with you. Dak's it in the same boat. Big contract, got hurt again with another season-ending injury. How do you come back? You've added weapons. We get Ferguson still good. I've liked the running back drafts that we got, all those things. So in that, yes, I agree with it's going to come back to what kind of quarterback play we get.
Yeah, I just want him to play to his wage and give us something. That, like, I love the Dallas Cowboys. Everybody knows that. But it's like, come on. Like, it's time. Like, we can only keep getting these weapons for so long. Like, Dak has got to show up this year. And that's my frustration.
To that point, though, really, Dak has performed.
If he can stay healthy.
When he's on the field,
Right.
He's performed at a high level. So I'm not really. Now, you could question some individual games and moments.
And maybe more specifically, playoffs.
Well, right.
Let's talk playoffs.
But you, as far as like you say, play to his wage, his numbers are definitely in the category that they need to be at to be, one of the highest paid quarterbacks in football. And as we talked about, to we're blue in the face, and the quarterback pay stuff is just ridiculous in general.
Yes.
But it's every time that the next quarterback that's even kind of in the sniffing in the top 10 comes up for a free agent contract, they're then the highest paid quarterback for 30 seconds, and then the next guy is.
Yeah.
So you can't really fault like the Cowboys or Dak for that, because that's just the way that it is. I mean,
Because
you can hate it. I personally hate it, and I've made my opinion perfectly clear that I think the market inefficiency is quarterback, that you build the rest of the team, and then you get a halfway decent guy that you're not paying a lot of money, and
it's literally become as accurate, and yes, you have. I'm going to stick with my statement. The NFL has become about as accurate as fantasy football is for us. Yes, there are like 3 game-changing fantasy football scoring quarterbacks in the league: Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson.
Yes.
And then outside of that, everybody else is maybe they get you 15, maybe they get you 20. And if they get you close to the age of renting a car of 25 fantasy football points, they had a great day because of other people, whatever. Right. But outside of that, there's not that many left in the league for that. And then, so when you look at that, and yes, the pressure, I think the problem is the money shouldn't be the pressure for Dak, because I'm getting paid what everybody else is getting paid. The pressure for Dak, and I understand Misty's frustration, and I know if Greg's listening now, and I'm sure he is, Greg's frustration of Dak is just simply, you are the CEO of the most famous franchise on the planet who has been stuck. And that's where my frustration is, even with Tyron Smith. And you think about, you mentioned the Pro Bowlers, Tyron Smith, Zach Martin, both they say are going to walk into Canton. But the success overall of the franchise since 1996, and yes, you can go to the catch, that wasn't a catch, it was a catch. Bottom line, they didn't move on. The bobble snap of Tony Romo, and they happen, is there's the lack of success in the postseason has been the frustration that lingers, and I think it has nothing to do, or shouldn't have anything to do with the money.
I agree with that completely, and that's why I was like, I'm not a Dak apologist at all, but putting all of that 100% on Dak, I think, is just a little disingenuous, because you mentioned those 3 quarterbacks, and I agree with you. Those are the top 3 quarterbacks in the NFL. How many Super Bowls have any of them other than Mahomes won?
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
And then Mahomes obviously has a stack of Super Bowls, and you could maybe pin the fact that they didn't win the last one on he had a terrible game.
Well, and I think, and again, and I'll go back to Giannis, and I know we got to go to commercial, and we'll come back and maybe bring back some mascot talk. But Giannis made a comment last year when they lost. Is it a failure that you didn't win the title? And he paused and kind of got offended by that question, because he said, only one team wins it every year. Did you ask the same question when Jordan didn't win it? Now, granted, in the 3 years, did you ask that question to everybody if you didn't win it? Yes, that is accurate in the fact that, not everybody's going to win it all. Somebody's going to get second, and it's going to be frustrating that they got second, but when you look back on it.
No, and if you go to that point exactly, the moment that it happens, we go back, 15 years ago to when the Rangers first made their first World Series in 2010. They obviously lost, and they lost again in 2011. And so in that, especially that 2011 season where they were so good and got so close, you end it with the feeling of disappointment. But at the same time, when you take that step back and look, like, how many franchises would fan bases would give everything that they could in the fan realm to be back-to-back, like, American League champions, back-to-back NFC champions, like the Bills in the 90s. Like, obviously you're frustrated you never won a Super Bowl if you're a Bills fan, but if you were a Bills fan through that time, and through hindsight, you can look and say, that was a good time to be a Bills fan.
Right.
I mean, right? Do you disagree? I mean, you'd rather have a Super Bowl, but would you rather watch a team that never sniffed it?
You could be a Browns fan.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
It can always be worse.
Yeah.
But so it's like so my point is, I also agree that winning the Super Bowl would be great, but it doesn't take winning the Super Bowl for me to finish a season and say that was a fun season to watch the Cowboys.
And I agree with that. My frustration again is just, can we get past the first round? Like, can we just go a little bit deeper? Like, with the weapons that we have, we should be, is my point.
Right, and I think that's the other deal is can you actually start moving in the successful direction?
Yeah, I just want some
any progress.
Playoff, contention here.
Right. All right, when we come back, more Hodgepodge right after this.
I mean, I hope that Dak is super healthy and just is laying it out all the air to the corner for Pickens or whatever. Pickens outside, CD inside. I mean, I hope that it's a successful season. It should be.
It should be.
It should be, and that's what we have hope. It's exciting.
I'm still somewhat concerned with the running back situation. I mean, but because it's almost like,
Yeah, we didn't even talk about that.
What?
The running back. I mean, yeah, we just talked about obviously the trade, but the running back situation in Dallas.
Dowell,
And he gone.
Yeah, he had a good season last
Mhm.
year, but never was like super impressive.
No.
But just like put
Just
up
did
decent
enough.
numbers.
Right, did enough.
And he left, and it's almost like let's just get a bunch of people in here to see if anybody like.
The 3 Tylers, though, I'm excited about.
Yeah.
And Jaden, what is it? Jaden Blue, Jaden Blue, whatever his name is.
I think the Waffle guy.
Oh yes, yeah, I forgot about him. I mean, I think that, definitely they're making moves, and if you're a Dallas Cowboys fan, obviously you're excited. I'm excited to see how it shakes out. I just hope Dak can stay healthy, and then I think we're in good shape. But I just, I worry about that.
All right, what would be good to end it with?
I mean, yeah, I don't know what Western Heritage, Mother's Day weekend stuff, playoff baseball. I don't know. I feel like we always come up with something. You sound like the Hamburglar. Yes, I hear you. I might not have sound excited, but I really am excited about this football season more than I have been in the most recent years because they have made some moves. Yeah, I really hope Dak can stay healthy.
Josh, what do you think we should end it on?
I don't know. We got it.
Welcome back to the Hodge Factor. We get ready to send you into a very, very busy weekend. May is here. Kentucky Derby happened last week. Sovereignty was your winner. Again, the NBA playoffs, the NHL playoffs, the Stars tried to take a 2-0 win, 2-0 lead tonight against the Winnipeg Jets. Stars do lead that series 1-0. Of course, I mentioned the Derby. One of the big news is Sovereignty will not race in the Preakness. NBA happening as well. Lots going on this weekend. Happening in the Truist, which is the signature event of the PGA Tour. Keith Mitchell leading it after round one, -9, along with Danny McCarthy at 8 under. Next week is the PGA Championship. We saw it in March, or in April, where Rory capped off the 6th player to be part of the Grand Slam crew. Will we see that with Jordan Spieth next week? Jordan played good at the Byron, didn't have a very good first day yesterday at the Truist. And so we'll see if Jordan can do that next week as well. And again, we appreciate Coach Lynn Turner. They'll be playing just in a couple hours at Abilene Christian. I know you don't work there anymore, but that facility over there that they built, football and baseball complex at Abilene Christian, is unbelievable. And they've got a load of games today. Hamlin and Westbrook, and then I looked, Ira and May playing. And of course, Andrews is the site for Wiley playing today. Playing the El Paso team as they play in the area around. Lots going on. And of course, want to mention, we talked about it, you've heard it in our spots. May 22nd kicks off the Mid-American regular season champions. Almost won the whole thing last year, but the Flying Bison baseball season kicks back off on May 22nd on the road in Texarkana, and the home opener will be here as Joplin comes to town. Again, an exciting, great job by the organization, the atmosphere, the play, everything that the Flying Bison, great successful year. They had another award given to them at the Small Business Award luncheon this past week as well. So looking forward to season 2. And it's always good when your inaugural season is not your own.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
really
yeah,
fun.
that's a,
Yeah, really fun last year. Great for Abilene.
And you look at the big news that they've made the event announcement on that Thursday nights will be their Prairie Dog, where they'll wear the Abilene Prairie Dog uniforms. And so looking forward to having the Flying Bison a big part of the Hodge Pack throughout the baseball season. And be sure, you've heard it in the spot, it's very affordable entertainment. It's very family-friendly entertainment, bomber and the games that happen in between innings and all those things. Of course, Walt Driggers Field is a great facility for baseball, and so and I think we've mentioned it before, but a lot of times you see some of these leagues that have thrown baseball together, and it's older people trying to hang on to life or hang on to their career and their dream and all those things. But you got these guys that are from, just looking at the roster, BYU, Tennessee, all these folks where they're still very much in their prime of playing baseball.
yes, right. On the way up, not on the way out. So it does change kind of the dynamic of the baseball overall.
But again, a lot of season left. It'll be kicking off again. First pitch will be happening on May 22nd out at Texarkana, and then the home opener is August 27th. The other thing that's big this week, if you had a room to rent, you probably could make money off of it. It's a busy week in Abilene. You've got college graduations, you've got Mother's Day weekend, you got the Western Heritage. So much going on in Abilene this weekend. We've got a wedding tomorrow, so we'll get to go do that. Yeah, busy weekend.
It is. It's always a good time.
So, and this is the other thing, and I know yours is no longer playing softball, but is Little League regular season already almost over?
It is. We're down to the final couple of weeks.
Because I heard somebody say, yeah, we were hanging out, and a guy said, hey, give me a schedule. And the guy said back to him, he said, we play next week. All right, well, give me a schedule. It's pretty much it next week.
Yeah, tomorrow is the last day that my volunteer commitment for helping out with Little League. I get to the ballpark every Saturday at 7:30 and like rake the field, put the chalk line down. Sometimes it looks good. Sometimes you fail
the straight test.
Yeah. If you had to walk that line, you'd go to jail. But I do my best. And tomorrow is the last morning that we have the first game starting at 8. So leaving the house earlier on Saturdays to go set up a baseball field, then I leave to go to work all the rest of the week. I'm ready for that to be done. So,
It's a lot of work. Shout out to all the volunteers for Little League. It is a lot of behind the scenes work that goes into that.
And then you roll into the fun All-Star time, and I guess, is there a city tournament before? Because All-Stars always follow the city tournament, or us at Merkel, we played in the county tournament.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how it all works. I know that all gets kicked off here shortly. So there's end of the school year, end of the baseball season. And then it'll be summertime. And for whatever reason, we've had the coolest stretch of weather that we've had in a while when it was May. That's been good. Maybe we can hold on to that for a little bit.
Yeah, it's a big weekend, big times for all that. Your kids are in what? Coach pitch?
Machine pitch.
Machine pitch. Okay, so is it real important on how you put the ball in? Are you the ball in?
Oh no, I'm not.
Are you the ball in pitcher guy?
I'm not the pitcher. I'm the third base coach. I'm very aggressive with the Sims.
I bet.
That's
what time do y'all play tomorrow? I'm coming.
Hey, for the record, that is SENDS, not sins. If y'all.
Well, I mean that too probably.
I mean, yeah, we're all sinners here.
Yeah,
I'm really big on the sins.
We like to test the other team's ability to catch and throw.
Oh,
right. So far, it's working.
So
do you have
savage? Cool.
Do you? Well, great.
Savage for the 6-year-olds.
Yeah. You can hang out with Wendy over there.
Yeah.
So do you have to ice down your shoulder from windmill sins?
No, I don't get that aggressive, but
Do you ever Ron Washington down the line?
Not really.
And again, the
But it
baseball
is,
line.
this is It is white powder.
I was like dying. I was trying to hold it in.
Yeah.
But you know, it's just I like to get them, get down.
Yeah.
To
I love Ron Washington.
Some of the kids can slide, and some of them just like flop.
Yeah.
And
That's one thing that I did notice. My nephew plays t-ball, and I guess, and my brother, and ironically the coach that's coaching this team, April, they were the first group that started t-ball, Marple, because when you were in elementary, we didn't have t-ball. I don't know if they had it at Wiley. We did not have t-ball.
I never played t-ball.
The first thing you did was kid pick.
Yeah.
And there was no coach anyway. But it blew my mind on how few of these kids slid. Because used to, let me run the bases, and they would slide to first, slide it second, slide it third, and then of course you slide it home. And these kids wouldn't slide. I'm like, what are we teaching these
They
kids?
bounce now.
They
It's
don't even do
painful.
it. They just run. And I don't know. But yeah, Little League is, I do like watching, going, especially when the All-Stars and all that stuff start happening, going to watch some good Little League baseball is fun. And then to this day, one of the best burgers seems to be every Little League makes a good hamburger.
Oh yeah, you just have that griddle back there that hadn't been washed in 15
It just
years.
hits
And,
a good ham.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, that ticker of life that just goes down a little bit by a day or two.
Yeah.
Because that amazing hamburger,
Yeah,
it's
but,
at the ballpark.
It is like you said, it is good to go out and just watch, and that's one thing I enjoy, volunteering out there. I coach the boys team, but then I've like volunteer, help out
and
with
reach
stuff.
off lines.
Yeah, and so I'm at a lot of the games, but you see these kids, and there's the joy that they have in certain moments. Like they catch a ball. Maybe there's that kid that doesn't hit it very often, and he finally hit it. And even if he gets thrown out at first base, it was like
It's a huge win.
He hit the ball, and his smile like.
And he
goes
might have made it.
ear to
He
ear.
might have made it to first safely if he had remembered what that was like, because he had.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
everyone's yelling run
Yeah.
because you hit it and you're just watching it. But that's the joy that comes with that, and just getting out, and especially like I said, when the weather's nice and you can just enjoy some time outside. So it's good.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and it's funny, and we'll kind of end with this, but Hamlin has two. I believe Coach Grant Martin said they have 4. You've got these kids that hopefully it's in June, but they're all a game away from playing their last game as seniors.
Mhm.
And you think about how it started with them, Little League, and all of a sudden vapor and it missed, and they're graduating. And so, and next Friday, I mentioned Holly, they're graduating next week. Wiley and the other ones go one more week, but it's just crazy. End of the week, end of the year, how that coming to culmination, if you will, of where we're at. And so good stuff. But again, we appreciate everybody. We thank you. Go download, subscribe. If you missed the mascot fight, you're going to want to hear about that. And of course, Coach Turner and them playing 2 hours from now. They'll be playing against the Westbrook Wildcats. We'll be back next week. Happy Mother's Day, Mom. Everybody have a great one. We'll see you next week.
Oh, goodness.
All right, I'll see y'all.
Peace out, Girl
Have a good
Scout.
day.
You too.